Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sharon. If you're seeing me for the first time, I make videos about medicine and I vlog my medical school journey. And if you're not seeing me for the first time, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. And thank you so much for continuing to support the channel, you guys. You guys have seen the title. I'm going to talk about my preclinical journey. I'm going to talk about the things that I did right in this video. Then in a separate video, I'll talk about all the things I did wrong because I feel like that one needs its own video. Because I did do a lot of things wrong, and I'm all about learning. I want you guys to learn from my mistakes, but in this video I want you to learn from my rights. The other video you guys will learn from my wrongs, child, because they were lots. Before we begin, what are preclinicals? What's preclinical? Share what you talking about. So there's pre-med, right? When you leave high school, you go to pre-med. That is where you learn your advanced basic sciences. So advanced math, advanced chemistry, advanced biology, advanced physics. When you pass pre-med, you go into preclinicals. That is also known as direct entry. It's third year or second year, depending on your institution. And yeah, you start learning about actual medicine now. You're starting to learn about biochem, anatomy, physiology, pathology, pharmacology, all those things, all those beautiful things that are sarcasm, by the way. Those things used to terrorize me. Please, yeah, you're now in preclinicals, and then there's actual clinicals, which is the final journey, which is where I am before you graduate. But it doesn't feel like a final journey because I have 5 more semesters left. It's 2.5 years. It's not feeling final. The tough times are lasting. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I did do right that led to me clearing all my courses every single time and making my way to attachments. Of course, clearing shouldn't be your only goal. Your goal should be to be the best version of yourself you can be academically and to get them A's, get A's. Aim for 100. But if you've actually been to medical school, that is easier said than done. So the first thing that I did do right was, number one, respecting the course that I'm doing. I know I'm about to offend some people because people do be getting offended, but you're not studying to get a diploma. You're not studying to get a certificate. You're studying medicine, one of the hardest courses to study in all of human history. Like, it's hard. Like, any point in time, studying medicine was hard because the human body is tough and complicated and complex, and it has all these different mechanisms that it works with, and there's so many things that can go wrong with the human body. That's why medicine is so long. It's so much to study because when things go wrong, there's no limit to how wrong they can go. And it's a job to know that. And it's a job to know how things work properly. It's a job to know how things work when they're not functioning properly. So that's why it's so long. I went into it with that mentality. I knew what I was studying. I think that sometimes people go into medicine and there's all this prestige. It's true, it's prestigious. Like when you post your stethoscope and your white coat and people are like, ooh, okay. But the reality is it's prestigious for a reason. It's hard, okay? Medical school is hard, okay? It's not easy. It's not jokes. You can't just go in there and just bumble your way through it or just wing it. You can't wing your way out of medical school. It's tough. It's hard. And because I understood what I got myself into, it made every other step easier. I was prepared mentally. Mentally, I was prepared. I knew I was here to fight. I was not here for a good time. I'm here for a fighting time. I'm here for a fighting time and then a fighting time only, okay? So I understood that. So for you, I would say, know what you have gotten yourself into, okay? This is not, I'm not going to say other courses because, imagine I get beaten up in the streets when someone sees me and be like, oh, you were talking about my course, huh? It's hard work and it needs the respect that it deserves. And some of the fear too. Fear it a little bit. Be scared. A little fear could drive you. So yeah, that is my first point. And then my second point is, whichever way you slice it, whichever way you dice it, whichever way you flip it and reverse it, you're gonna have to work hard, okay? You're gonna have to work hard. Like I said, you can't wing it through medical school. You have to work hard. I think sometimes people ask me, Sharon, how did you get through clinicals? What did you do? I worked hard. How? There's nothing else to say. You have to work hard. One of the, if you guys have watched my video, I always have like quotes on my wall. And one of the, I don't know if you can see those quotes, they're very blurry. But one of the quotes that I've always had on my wall since pre-med is, are you working hard? If not, work hard. Because you have to work hard until you feel it in your body. I've worked, because there's just no other way around it. Unfortunately, you can't. There's no shortcut. One of the quotes on my wall right now says, "There's no shortcut to any place worth going." So there are no shortcuts. You have to put in that work. Now, with whatever motivates you to get working, whatever your reasons for being in medical school. Some people, like I've acknowledged, are not in medical school because they love it. Like, I'm actually very privileged to be studying something that I love and I'm so passionate about, but not everyone is that passionate. Some people just have no choice. It's circumstances. And if you're one of those people, find your motivation, okay? If it's fear, then be scared, okay? Yes, you're scared to disappoint your parents, you're scared to fail. There's some people who, I know for other universities, they have bursaries and you're supporting a lot of people and you're in medical school. Use that, whatever fuel is motivating you. And that one you can't wiggle your way out of it. I'm sorry, like if you're looking for shortcuts in this video, there will be none. Work hard. You have to work hard. You have to sweat. You have to at least spend a sleepless night awake or something. Like, you have to work hard, okay? I don't know. There's no other way to say work. Not working, like work hard. It should kind of hurt a little. It should kind of hurt. Like, jeez, okay, that's hard. But yeah, it should be hard. It should be hard. It should be hard. There's no other way to say. Number 3. Okay, so with all that said, I am not the type of medical student who my whole life is medicine. It's not. I made that executive decision when I came into direct entry, because when I was in pre-med, my whole life was school. School was my whole life. I did not have a life outside school. And then when I came to direct entry, I was like, no, I'm not going to live like this. Like, medicine is long. I can't be putting my life on hold for a long time like that. Like, because I'm going to graduate when I'm 26, and I'm not going to be sacrificing the majority of my 20s for this course. I'm going to grow to resent it at some point. So I decided, I'm going to live my life, okay? I'm going to live my life. I'm going to grow. I'm going to learn whatever lessons life wants to teach me in my early 20s. I'm going to learn those lessons. And with that being said, no matter what life lessons I was going through, no matter what living I was doing, school was always first, always and foremost. I never forgot that school comes first. What does that mean, Sharon? It means if you have a boyfriend, if you have a girlfriend, and they want to see you, and it's exam season, tell them no. Tell them no. If you have friends and they want to go out and they want to come and get you and it's exam season, no. See me after the exams. Catch me after the exams. And this seems like an easy thing, like school should come first, but like school should actually come first. That's why you're here. Like, that's why you're in university. That's why you're even having these life lessons. That's why you're even friends with the people that you're friends with. That's where you probably even met your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Like, school comes first. Don't forget that. And if you remember that, it's going to dictate every single decision you make moving forward. Because, like I've said in my videos, whatever you're gonna be doing, I don't care how crazy it is. When school comes first, nobody can tell you anything, okay? School should come first. Easy. So those were more like general tips, for your mental status, so that you are in the right mental mind. Now let's talk about how I actually passed, child, okay? So when I was in medical school, my first semester, March 20th, something significant happened. COVID hit Zambia and our school was closed indefinitely. Whoopsie. Yeah, our school was closed indefinitely and we had to go to school online. Yeah, we had to do online learning. That messed up my mojo. It messed up my enthusiasm. It messed up my grind. And I fell into a slump because I had been home for like 4 or 5 months. Yeah, after the lockdown, we're home until from March to August, basically. And I fell into a slump. I was anxious. I didn't even have time to think about school assignments because I was anxious. Everything scared me. I'd get a flu and I'd be like, oh no, has it come for me? Is this how I die? So I was really not concentrating on school, guys. During that period, I was just stressed about everything but school. And then I had a pleasant encounter with one of my classmates. I was explaining to him that I was really anxious about everything else but school. I was not studying for nothing. And he was like, he's also going through the same thing. when he came up with this idea, he's like, how about this? How about tomorrow at 14? I'm gonna call you, I'm gonna video call you, and then we're gonna discuss a topic. So you go, you study this topic, I'll go and I also study this topic, and then tomorrow at 14 we're gonna discuss it. And something crazy happened. For the first time, I felt that drive to study. I hadn't felt motivated to study, but I was like, for me, my driving motivation, I was like, I can't, answer this video call from my classmates and I haven't studied. Like, what are they gonna think of me? And whatever the motivation is, okay, it doesn't matter how right or wrong it is, but that simple motivation of, I'm not going to answer this call and not know the topic, like he's gonna think I'm an idiot. So I went to my room and I read my books for the first time in I don't know how long. And I remember we were studying ELISA lab science, the tests, the serological tests. I still remember it. That was a long time ago. And we discussed it, and it was such a useful discussion. Like I learned a lot from that, and we started doing that every day. So after that, we're like, tomorrow we're gonna do this topic, we're gonna do pharmacology, okay, and then afterwards tomorrow we're gonna do this. And that was while I was still in Botswana and we're doing it online. Then when I came to Zambia from Botswana, when we started doing in-person classes, we continued to do that. And basically all of that story is, I had my motivation. So figure out what your motivation is. And for me, studying, it's not that like I can't study on my own or I need someone to explain concepts, because that's not the case. I understand concepts fairly easily, but it's just more so that deadline. I'm someone that works well under pressure. I need a deadline, and that's what came for me. He became my pressure, my deadline, because I just know that at 17, open that gate, he's gonna come and we're gonna have to discuss things, and I need to know those things, because there's no way I'm gonna know these things and I don't know these things. Also, I'm a little bit competitive, so that was great. It worked out, because and we continued doing that until last year. Yeah, until last semester. And the reason why it stopped working is because we became actual close friends and we couldn't study anymore because we just started talking about life things and stuff. So if you're interested in this route of having a study partner, I would say make sure it's someone that you're not too close to, not someone that's like your friend, or maybe for some of you, you need your friend so you don't feel ashamed to ask certain questions. But for me personally, it worked that close, because I wouldn't get distracted. We didn't start talking about other things. Our only relationship was school, so it was great. But for some people, I know that it helps when you're studying with a friend, so that you don't feel shame asking. Some people need someone to explain concepts to them. So if that's you, then I get it. But for me, what provided for me was just that pressure, that deadline. He gave me a deadline, he gave me a pressure, and he gave me that competition. Then my fifth point would be active recall. There's two types of learning: passive learning and active recall. So passive learning, if I have my textbook and I'm just reading and I'm highlighting and I'm writing notes on the side, then I close, then I go to sleep. Congratulations, you've done nothing. Okay, that was not studying. You did not study. That information, only 5% went into your brain, because it was passive learning. You're learning passively. Your brain, it didn't have to do much. Okay, it's like, oh, okay, okay. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Okay, all right. What are we gonna eat for lunch? Okay, maybe we should eat. But active learning is actual learning now. Your brain, like when you're done studying, you guys, your brain should feel a bit heavy. It should feel like, okay, I've worked. If your brain is not feeling like that, you have not done nothing, my dear. Okay, so active recall is basically asking yourself questions. So you read a paragraph, you ask yourself, what did I just read? That act of asking yourself, that recalling, the actively recalling, is active recall. Now, the way you active recall changes, it varies. So the good thing is that there are many ways of active recall. When I was in pre-med, I used to use physical flashcards. Like I used to cut manila paper, colored manila paper, cut it into tiny cubes, write the question this side, the answer this side. Then I used to carry them everywhere I go. So while I'm on the bus, I'm reading. While I'm at, in between classes, I'm reading. Lunch, I'm reading. I found that to be a tedious waste. Also terrible for the environment. Hello, paper everywhere. Also very tedious, extremely tedious, and it wasn't as practical for me. And that's how I switched to electronic flashcards. Particularly, you guys know that I use Anki. I'm Anki all day. I'm an Anki stan. I will recommend Anki to anyone who asks me. Anki is where it's at, okay? Basically, what is Anki? It is an electronic flashcard system. It's like an app. You downloaded it from Google Chrome. It takes 5 seconds, okay? It takes 5 minutes. You download it, your computer runs it, and then it's an app. It's like on your desktop, and then you type in the questions yourself, and then you type in the answer. And this is where it comes in now. Point number 2, hard work, okay? You're gonna have to make those flashcards. There is no pre-made flashcards for you. You have to make them yourself, and that's how the hard work is. You have to type them. I think the most I've ever had, I think I've typed thousands of flashcards per semester, because you have to do it. How? You have to active recall one way or the other. There's no app that's gonna give you pre-made flashcards. Even the ones that will give you pre-made flashcards, they're gonna leave some things out. Each syllabus is different, okay? Each school has got a different syllabus, and the most important thing about typing your own flashcards, that you don't leave any information out. Like, for example, let's say biochemistry, you're learning one of the pathways. There are some pathways that will leave some things out, and your teacher wants those things in. So it's important to type your own flashcards. And I know it's tedious. Sharon, typing flashcards. Hey, you have to do it in medical school, my dear. You chose this life, okay? Next 2 points are kind of conjoined. So the first one would be, make sure you have people who are serious around you, because when you're in university, you're going to meet all types of people. You're going to meet all types of people from all types of backgrounds, from all types of homes, living all types of lives. And one thing about me, I'll be honest, I'm kind of easily influenced, especially academically. If I'm around, like, school always comes first for me, always, but there's a change in my grades, alone, surrounded by people who are not that serious, I'll get in the 50s, 60s. But if I'm surrounded by people who are serious, hello, straight A's, okay? So if you also know that you're kind of like that and you're easily influenced, then make that choice. Remember when you're young and your mom was, okay, I don't know, maybe this is just my mom, but when I was like in primary, even in high school, my mom was very strict about who I could befriend. She'd be like, you want to be around good influences. So that's a form of self-care. Not everyone you have to be around has to be like a giant nerd. Just make sure you have people that you can text all the time, ask them like, what's going on, was there an assignment? If you miss a day in school, if you and your friends are all missing class, then you're all gonna be confused. But make sure you have someone that you can text that you know is serious, and you can be like, this assignment, when is it due? Do we have an assignment due? I missed a day. What happened? Take that initiative. Make sure you have good influences, academic influences. You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to go clubbing together. You don't have to live the same life. But just when it comes to school, have academic friends that you can ask for questions and ask them things, because there can be a test you won't even know, There can be a test you won't even know, bro. So make sure you are keeping those people around you, close by. And then the next point, my last point, is guys, you have to have a good CA, okay? You must have a good CA. I don't care you are Albert Einstein, okay? I don't care you're Ben Carson. Even Ben Carson, you did mention my point. I don't care you're the smartest person to ever walk in this universe. You need a good CA, okay? Have a strategy, be strategized, know what's going on, take that initiative. In my school, CAs are out of 40, right? So 40% of your exam is your continuous assessment test, 60% is the final exam. So for that 40%, that includes assignments. Assignments were 10%, tests, quizzes were 10%. The mid-semester was 20%, if I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, more or less it's like that, So write your mid-semester exam, okay? I don't care, you're so smart, in your dreams you see answers. Write your mid-semester exam. Otherwise it will be a 0, and it will mess up your entire grade. Because I know people who have repeated because of, not taking CA serious. They're really smart people, really hardworking, but you don't take your CA serious. You don't hand in your assignments. You don't do that tedious lab work. I know it's tedious, guys. Drawing histology slides, hi, whoa, it's so tedious. 4 hours for 1%. Because if you consider it, if you get 10 lab reports and they're all 10%, each lab report is 1% of your final grade. And imagine 4 hours of spending on one lab report. Hi. That is so frustrating, but you have to do it. There's no other way about it. You have to do your assignments, test, study for your tests, give it a proper try. I don't know, maybe you're in the middle of a breakup. Forget about it for a second, okay? Just forget that pain. Study for your test, write your test, and then continue to cry afterwards. You remember point number 3, school first. So whatever pain you're going through, put it on the back burner, okay? Put it aside. Yeah, like, make sure you take your CA serious. Like, assignments, do them. I know they're so tedious. It sucks. You guys have watched my vlogs where I've had assignments that I've done last minute, but I did them. Even if they're last minute, I still did them, So I know it sucks. It's annoying to have to do so many lab reports. Yeah. But you have to do it, my dear. There's no other way. There's no shortcut in this world of medicine. You gotta do it. You gotta have a good CA. And yeah, I'm not gonna start giving you guys terrible advice about, hey, you need to you need to just get a 50. That's not what this channel is or what it will be. But technically, get that 20. If you see that of 40, make sure it's at least 20, Otherwise, you'll cry. And studying when you have a bad CA, that pressure, if you do not work well under pressure, it will mess you up because you'll be so anxious and scared and you won't even have time to study properly. So, guys, take your CA serious, okay? I know you're number 1 in high school. This is not high school no more. High school is over. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep making that voice. I would really like to apologize. Okay, end of the day, like I said, in my class I've met all types of people from all walks of life who are studying medicine for different reasons, and I think the single unifying factor for people who do make it are people who just put in that work. There's just no substitute for hard work. You can't, that one, I'm sorry guys, you can't wiggle your way out of it. And for me, how I got through that hard work is to love the process. One of my flashcards that I had on the wall said, love the journey, love the process, love the studying. I know it kind of sucks. There are a lot of things that are better than studying, okay? There are, I know. Right now Love Island is kicking right now. Woo! Love Island is where it's at right now. Like, if I had a choice between watching Love Island, watching them talk like this, for like 45 minutes, instead of doing my flashcards, I'm choosing Love Island. But I'm not choosing school, but because I'm disciplined, I'm motivated, I know why I'm in this course, I know what I have signed up for, and I know the level of work that this course requires. Make that sacrifice. One thing that one of my A-level teachers used to say to us, my biology teacher when I was at Rainbow High School in Botswana, he said, this is a pit stop. It's a pit stop. You're just here. It's a longer pit stop because other people, their pit stop is 4 years, but yours is 7 years. Plus, you're specializing 1,000,000 years, but it's a pit stop. In the grand scheme of life, you're gonna be alive for at least 8 decades if nothing crazy happens to you and you don't make any crazy choices. But if you're gonna be alive for that long, what's 7 years? Think about, guys, like, what's 7 years? It's just 7 years. You put in that work, you put in that sacrifice, and you reap the rewards for your whole entire life. And to me, that's worth it. And it should be worth it to you too. So those are all the things that I did right and how I cleared all the way up to this point. And then I'm gonna make a separate videos of all the things I did wrong. And because I will be honest with you guys, I don't like to lie on this channel. I wasn't a straight A student. I said it before in my other video, like, I kind of got distracted. Wow, yeah, for sure. school was first. There were other things happening, guys, because school is not my whole life. Like I've said, I have a life outside of school, guys. A whole life. And um, I think had I not made certain decisions, I would have been a straight A student, and I wouldn't be suffering the way I kind of suffered in clinicals. And that's why I want to be honest about my mistakes so that I can help you guys out, make a great a batch of future doctors. And we have to be honest, I think in medicine, people lie a lot. Because everyone expects you to be brilliant and great all the time, and even maybe that's your background. Maybe you're coming from a place where everything was straight A's for you, and then you come here and things are not straight A's. People won't be honest. They'll lie. But it's true, guys. I've had exams where things were looking very bleak and very sad, and I want to talk through. I did a lot of reflecting, and I've figured out where I went wrong. And the most important thing is to figure out where you're going wrong so that you don't repeat it. Because I'm not done with this course. I still have 2.5 years to go. And yeah, let's talk about it, you guys, in the comments. What do you guys think? Because when I start talking about my wrongs, those wrongs are quite spicy. Okay, guys, thank you for making it to the end of this video. Once again, my name is Sharon. Thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to comment, subscribe, like, share to whoever you think will care, and I will see you guys in the next video. The hole in my ceiling says hi, and it says bye. Bye.